I thought I wasn't recording in the right settings, but I was. Okay, hi. Guys, I'm so happy to be back. As much as I'm like, I love when I'm not doing the podcast for a week. I actually am so happy to be back. I missed us. I missed me. It's Aries season. Obviously, you're getting the vibes. Very Aries of me to be like, I don't miss y'all. I miss me. Being witnessed by y'all. Welcome back to the Pink Pod Podcast, where we talk a little bit about VO and a lot of bit about life. Gosh, my bangs are banging today. The hair is big. It looks kind of almost like a rat's nest, but like in the most chic and elevated way. My hair defies gravity. That is a beautiful thing specifically about Black women that I love about us. This whole episode is actually just about why Black women are the best. I kid. Even though that probably is like kind of the basis, because like every episode should kind of be about that, because it's just me, and like I think that should be the messaging forever and always. Anyway, it is March 31st, Tuesday. This comes out on Thursday, and as you might all remember, if you've been a fan since the beginning, this is episode 6. I don't know. This is an episode, and it has there was one before it, and there'll be another after. So it is in a sequence of. Anyway, if you have been watching since the beginning in February when it came out a month and a couple weeks ago, you remember that it says that this is an every Thursday new episode thing. That is changing. I know. It's every other week now. I kind of soft launched the every other week by taking a week off a couple weeks ago, and then I took off last week as well. So this is just turning into an every other week thing. And so instead of it being like a oopsie, I'm making it intentional. The great thing is you will be receiving me every week, because the new podcast Sister Signs is coming out soon that I'm doing with my bestie and Zinga. So you can catch me, my face, every week, sometimes solo and sometimes in tandem with one of the funniest people, awesome, most beautiful people alive in Zinga Shaw. Okay, so now that you're done grieving that this isn't coming out every single week, let's talk about what this is about. I have so many revelations and downloads that have come and life things that have kind of happened that I can't wait to share with you all. So let's get into it. Today's episode is sponsored by, I don't know. I don't have a sponsor yet, but that means I'm open. Please sponsor me. Somebody. Seriously though, today's episode is about, I think I'm joining the union, like fully. Dun, dun, dun. Whether you know this or not, I have been FICORE for either 4 or 5 years. I have been financial core. Insert what financial core means. Financial core, or fee-paying non-member, is a legal status allowing union members, specifically SAG, to resign, pay reduced dues, and work both union and non-union. I never became fully SAG. I was SAG eligible. I was Taft-Hartley-in, which all these things just mean like I worked a lot of union jobs via voiceover that required me to then join the union of SAG. At the time that I received my union must join, that they said, hey, Olivia, you have 30 days to fully opt into the union, or like, I don't know, have, the downfall of your life or something. I don't know. It was like, do this or else. And this was because I was working Dunkin. Dunkin is a union job. And I also booked the TV show Dee and Friends and Oz on Netflix. That's a union job. So specifically because of Dee and Friends and Oz, I got the notice that was like, you must join the union, because I was working too many union jobs to not be paying dues and be fully union. At the time, I also had Kohl's. Kohl's was non-union. So my agents were like, Olivia, you can't become fully union. You'd be essentially turning away this client that's paying you weekly at this point, the amount of work I was doing for Kohl's. So you're required to have a phone call with a member of SAG. They say they're not allowed to convince you not to be FICORE or convince you that essentially they're not supposed to convince you, but they do. I had a phone call with SAG, I had a phone call with my agents, all three of my agents, long phone call. And then I called SAG, and the woman representative made me feel awful about not fully joining the union. I literally was crying. And honestly, to be so for real with you, that kind of made me not want to join. Like, for her to be like so mean, I was like, why would I want to join this institution that's making me cry? You know what, girl? I'm going to do FICORE. I'm going to get my bag over here. I'm going to get my bag over there. I got my Kohl's bag, my Albertsons bag, all those bags of non-union work. So my Slack job, Salesforce and Slack, non-union. Hershey's Cookies and Cream, non-union. I mean, I could pull up my resume and kind of go over everything that was non-union versus union. I think you'd be surprised. The reason, and before I do that, the reason that you might be saying, like, why would an actor then just be SAG? Why wouldn't they be just FICORE? Why wouldn't an actor be FICORE if you can work union and non-union work? Because I get the benefits of being SAG, because I get health care and all that stuff, pension and everything. Being a FICORE dues paying non-member, what's the benefit of SAG? And so I'll get into that in a second. So let's go down my resume, shall we? My Discover job with Jennifer Coolidge, that was union. That was nice. Dee and Friends and Oz, union. Hershey's Cookies and Cream, non-union. American Airlines is union. Dunkin' Donuts, union. I did a video game called Drum, that was non-union. The Nickelodeon narrator singer for the Noggin YouTube channel, non-union. Paw Patrol I Spy a Podcast, I think that's union. My Aveeno job was non-union, I think. Albertsons, Safeway, Balducci's, Star Market, non-union. Kohl's, non-union. Walgreens, non-union. Apertude Pharmacy, union? I don't know. The list goes on and on. Salesforce and Slack, non-union. Best Buy was union. The SoFi campaign that I did, the very first job that I did was non-union, of course. Dunkin was my very first union job. That's why it changed my life, and that's why I made so much money. Money, please. Comment below if you know what that's from. Money, please. Stay till the end of the episode, and maybe I'll share what it's from. So, like I said, you may be asking, like, why would someone be union when you can be FICORE and work union and non-union jobs? Exactly. And that has been my point for a long time. I tell people, like, why would I become union, fully union, when I'm getting all the benefits of SAG as a FICORE member, essentially? And I'm getting to work union and non-union jobs. There are more non-union jobs than there are union jobs. So my chances of booking are just higher being FICORE. I've been a voice actor for 7 years, full-time voice actor since 2020, so 6 years. Whoa. Cool. I essentially did voice acting for a year before becoming full-time. That's also kind of crazy. The reason that I really want to become SAG right now in my career is because I'm kind of getting to that point of knowing my worth a little bit, a lot of it. The money difference between booking union and non-union can be huge. Like my Macy's job I need to add that to my resume. Shoot. My Macy's job is union. And the amount that I'm getting in residuals currently is like way more than like 6 months of working a non-union job. And I did Macy's once. The auditions also. I get so many auditions and a lot of them are non-union. It's a lot of work usually. And the pay that if I booked it is usually not that much. For example, I won't say the name of the company, but I just did an audition a couple weeks ago. Excuse me. For, maybe that's a confirmation burp. I don't know. I saw this like tarot reader be like, confirmation burp, like when she's doing a reading. I don't know. Also peep the makeup. Yes. A little pink all the way across the bridge of the nose, I think is fabulous. It reminds me of that woman, that book with the woman who has like the striped face. I want to totally do that one day, like where I do the colors of the striped face. The little black girl in the book that has the mumps or whatever it's called. I don't know. Also, anyway. Yeah, the pay. I'm getting a little. So there was a brand that I did an audition for, and I was required to sing, like a Broadway singer. They wanted Broadway type voice for this audition, so I'm giving it my all. The pay for the job, if I booked it and I did all that singing, and there would be take after take after take in session with the director and the producer and everything. The pay was $700. $700 is a good amount of money. Like that's a nice chunk of change, especially for like 2 or 3 hours of work. If it was union, I'd be getting like upwards of $10,000 for something like that based on the usage. If it was union, the pay difference, like Macy's was not a small job, but it's a 30-second commercial. I'm speaking like not even 100 words, not singing or anything like that. And it's thousands and thousands of dollars. This non-union job that I'd be doing like Broadway level singing, have to make sure I'm warming up and all that stuff, $700. And they could use it for whatever the set amount of time is, but the usage was going to be like $700. And I just feel like I would gladly take $700, but that's a little like not fair. Like it kind of feels like, and they had 2 parts that I was auditioning for. One was for the announcer, which I do a one-liner like blah, 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 like to close out the spot. They were also getting $700, that job. There's no reason that you're singing your heart out, Broadway level style, singing all this blah 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 blah, singing, you get $700, and then just a one-liner also gets $700. That's a difference of like, a 30-minute job or like a 2 or 3 hour job versus the preparation for each. Like one you can kind of roll out of bed for, one you have to work a lot harder for, but each role is getting $700. That just feels a little strange to me. Whereas union, like when I did Dee and Friends and Oz, if I was singing in an episode, which I sang in most, I got paid extra. For every episode that I'm singing in, I got paid more than if I was just voicing the character that I do, or voicing a character, one of the like 12 characters I played. So yeah, but here's the real revelation craziness. The way that God has been working in my life has been insanity. So do you understand FICORE versus union? The only other benefit, let me say this, the only other benefits that you get with union, besides like better pay if you're booking, like there's a less chance to book, mind you. But if you are booking in your union, you know that each job that you do is going to be like a good amount of pay. You also have like representatives and people that will like fight for you. You're part of the union, you know. There's a community kind of aspect. You also, if you're SAG-AFTRA, if you are a SAG-AFTRA member, you get sent like the movies that are up for the Oscars and stuff, and you get to vote. Do I really care about that? Not so much. But that's cool. You also get to attend these like in-person workshops and things like that me as a non-member, as a dues-paying non-member, I don't get to attend. I live in Atlanta though. Like, I'm sure if I lived in LA, it would feel maybe a little different. More of my friends would be SAG, and it would be like, let's go to this event together. I don't really know many SAG actors here in Atlanta. I don't have a ton of actor friends in Atlanta, period, which I really want more. So I gotta like go to networking things, I guess. What else do you get with union? I get the benefits of healthcare and stuff as a dues paying non-member. So that's a huge part of being in the union is the healthcare, the health insurance. I get that. So I'm kind of like, eh. Some casting directors and some people may look down upon people that are financial core because it's like you have one hand in each pot and you're not committed to the fighting the good fight. So I haven't run into that a lot. I don't think I haven't gotten jobs because of my financial core, like vibe that I'm in. I'm in the financial core vibe, but maybe I have missed out on opportunities because some casting directors will literally not even look at you if you're FICORE because they're just really anti not being fully union if you are eligible to be. What else is good? What else? I don't know. You just might be looked at as more of a somebody if you're fully a union member. Okay. Okay. Here's the tea. I'm like, which part of the story do I start with first? What will make a better story? Okay, here we go. I'll start with what happened and then I'll start with why it's insane and I'm going to cry. I know I am. Not my makeup. Good thing I sprayed setting spray, child. I'm going to cry. The past 2 or 3 weeks since the spring equinox, since the vibes that we've been, or that was like 10 days ago, the spring equinox, 21st, I think, 20th. Maybe 2 weeks ago, I have been feeling kind of like, confirmation burp. I've been on the vibe of, wait, do I become union? I fell into the Reddit rabbit hole that some actors are turned away from work because of their FICORE status. I was like in conversation with a friend's dad about me working. As soon as I said I was FICORE, this happened months ago. As soon as I said I was FICORE, he kind of ghosted. And I didn't understand why. And I said, maybe they've just found someone else for the job. But then I kind of fell into this Reddit thread that was like, it is looked down upon by many people to be FICORE. I also had some conversations with like another person's dad. It's weird. I've been in conversations with people's dad. The point is it's an older generation are kind of saying that like being FICORE is being like a scab, which I didn't know was like really offensive, but I guess it just means like you're kind of like not fighting the good fight. Let's see what a scab means. Oh, it is a derogatory term for a person who replaces striking workers. So essentially like, I didn't know it was derogatory, and no one called me a scab. They said it's kind of like scab territory. Like it's kind of like you are diminishing the efforts of the union by being FICORE. I never knew that was a thing. I never knew me being FICORE could be looked at as in any type of way. Like, if anything, I was just like, I'm making money, I'm doing good work, but I did not see it as potentially diminishing the efforts of the union. I'm one person, but I guess if a lot of people are FICORE, then it is diminishing whatever. But as an Aries does, I'm only looking at things in a selfish way. And I mean that with my full heart. But in like the kindest way, I mean like the more money I have and the more work I get, the better off a lot of other people are. I'm here supporting my family. I'm here like treating my friends at times. Like the richer I get, the more up everyone around me is. So I'm like, my selfish acts or efforts are never truly selfish. I'm a very giving and kind person, and I do have a lot of things on my plate. So it's selfish in the sense that it's selfish because I love my people and I want my people to be up and I want to help those around me. And I am a great person to receive a lot of money. I bless a lot of people with the more money that I get. So that being said, I just have not thought about it. But as of recently, you know what it was? I had a thing where I was like, I need to get back on stage. Do I want to go to a cattle call and be a non-union stage actor? Absolutely not. While I have not been on Broadway, I have more credit. I have more skills or tools than someone who just like freaking decided one day they want to go to an open call for like Wicked because they saw the movie. You know what I mean? And I did go to the Wicked open call just to like brush my, I don't know, to get used to that energy again because I haven't been on stage in a while. But I know exactly what I need. I want to become part of Actors Equity, which is the union for stage actors. SAG-AFTRA, the thing that I'm kind of in, but not really, has a sister union agreement where if you are SAG, you can join Actors Equity, and I believe vice versa. You don't have to because I don't have a ton of like stage credits, maybe it wouldn't be as smart for me to join Actors Equity because maybe against other Actors Equity members who have been doing Broadway for 10 years, maybe my resume and stuff wouldn't compete. But I know that if I work hard and practice and whatever, I could go to a call for Actors Equity for equity actors for a stage show and at least get seen and be seen and be in the room. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I want to get back on stage. I want to do Shakespeare in the Park. That is literally my dream. I want to do Shakespeare in the Park in New York or wherever, I guess. But like specifically, I want to do the New York show. They bring in a lot of celebrities usually for Shakespeare in the Park, but I want to do it. And how do you do it? You have to be an equity member, and that's how you get your auditions and stuff like that. Cool. And also, I want to share something. Like, I am not the type of person who, I work hard and I also have a lot of favor. So even like when I got my voiceover agents, I was not who I am today, the fabulous voice actor who's one of the top bookers of my agency. I was still green. I just was good enough and in the right place. And it was what I knew a little bit, but mostly who I knew. And my favor is what allows doors to open for me. I do not believe that if I would have cold submitted to DDO, the agent I'm with now, I would have just gotten accepted. I think it would have been a lot harder. It's because of the relationship that I had with the owner of the studio in New York who introduced me to my agency that I was able to get into the door, and they saw the potential and they saw the whatever. I believe the same way for stage shows and getting like more film and TV. I am in that almost green space with film and TV and stage right now because I just haven't done it a lot, besides Paw Patrol, but that was, a couple of years ago. I truly believe that when I like get a little crack in the door, like if there's a little introduction, I'm like, bah! I'm like, bah! It's me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. God works miracles in my life, and I am not blind or I just want to be very clear. Things aren't handed to me, but there's a lot of favor and miracles that work in my life that I do believe is just supernatural. It's also your frequency. The frequency that I'm carrying and work to hold is what attracts miracles and things to me. I do believe, like, this is not, when I say to me, it's not like only I can do this. Everyone has this ability to tap in this way. That's why a lot of the podcast episodes end up just being about spirituality, because it is everything. It is everything. It's everything. Because of my vibration and the frequency I'm holding and fighting to keep, that is what allows me to be one of the top bookers of my agency. That is what allows me as a new voice actor to get introduced to a huge voice acting agency. Doors open in that way because of the vibration and the frequency. You too can tap into that vibration and frequency. What is your relationship to God? And I don't mean God in just like a Christian way. What is your relationship to Source? What is your relationship to the divine? Excuse me. What is your relationship to the divine? What is your relationship to light, carrying light, being a light-bearing entity? Are you learning about mastering your inner world? Are you learning about breath work and staying grounded? And are you, and I don't think I was super conscious of all these things when some of the doors started opening. But I believe that because of my experiences and kind of the favor that has been put in my life, I believe it is now my duty to share those lessons and those times of my testimony. It's time for me to share my testimony. This is a testimonial share. So we'll get back on track. But all that to be around and all right, we're back. So the story is, I was like, I want to be Actors Equity because I want to do Shakespeare in the Park. I want to dip my toe in maybe on Broadway. Who knows? Maybe in a Keke Palmer kind of way, like a 2-week only. A Nene Leakes kind of way, and like I'm just coming for a couple shows. I just want to dip my toe in on Broadway. Like, it's so silly. It's kind of like when someone's like, I just want to be a voice actor and just, book a couple jobs and just because I be talking. I understand that it sounds like I'm like, I could do Broadway. I could just dip my toe in. Sure, I'll come in for a 2-week stint. I went to school for musical theater. Like, I know this crap. Like, please, please, please. I'm not some Joe off the street that's like, I could do that. But I could do that. So with hard work, with stuff, I want to say this. I had a friend that was on Broadway. He let me know that like his audition process and all that stuff was cool. They brought him in. The work that the musical director did with him to make sure he could sing, he was a principal, could sing the lead parts and could hit those notes and stuff, was all in the rehearsal process. Like, he didn't come done. He didn't come in polished, perfect, ready for showtime. He had extensive rehearsals to prepare him to be at that vocal level. So I'm like, you just gotta, sometimes the audacity and the confidence and having that natural skill, charm, and talent, of course, talent. But sometimes it's like, if you're like, oh, I can't do that. I'm not vocally ready in that way, which I do feel like a lot of times personally. But then sometimes I look at him and I'm like, you couldn't sing this part. You literally were in rehearsals to be able to sing this part once you book the Broadway job. You know what I mean? So like, you know what I'm saying? Like the work with the voice, with the musical director and everything. Like sometimes that comes after you book it. Like he didn't come ready. So that's really a word for me, and hopefully for you, that like every time you feel like you are not good enough, there is a white man with the audacity who's booking a lead on Broadway. Like, these men just have the audacity sometimes. So you just gotta, that's why I just have the audacity. And it causes some friction with some people because they're like, who do you think you are? But the audience that I'm talking to, you all, the Pink Potters, is that your name? The Pink Potters, the PPPs, y'all get it, because you just sometimes have to have the audacity. There's people with way less talent than you doing way more. Remember, you may not be freaking Audra McDonald, you know what I'm saying? But somebody is out here with less talent than you, booking way more than you. Just remember that. Sometimes it's the audacity, the persistence, the who you know, the networking. Just remember that literally you just have to have the audacity. There is a white man. There is a white man doing it, and he has not even half the skills of you. Have the audacity and do your thing, girl. And guy, whoever. But just, this is 2026. We need to freaking tap in. We need to freaking tap in. You need to tap in. Stop being scared. Get up. Tap in. It's time. It's time. Back to the testimony. I want it to be actors equity. If you are FICORE, you cannot join into actors equity with the whole sister union thing. You have to be fully SAG. So I said, this is kind of holding me back now, this FICORE thing. I was sitting pretty. I was sitting cool, making my money over here, over there, over here, over there, over here, over there. But now I can't even be actors equity. I don't want to be actors equity. I want the opportunity to be back on stage and start at a little higher level. So that's how I got into the Reddit threads, and that's where I saw like everyone talking about how people look down on FICORE and blah 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 blah. My mom came over. My parents live in my building. She came upstairs. We were chilling, and I said, "Mommy, I want to be Actors Equity. I want to join the Actors Equity Union, and it's a sister union to SAG, so I could just literally join, like pay the dues and just join, but I have to be a full SAG member." And she said, "Well, why don't you talk to your agents?" I said, "Well, I can't be a full SAG member. I'm currently working Albertsons, Safeway, Balducci, Star Market, King's Food Market. I have been working Albertsons for 3 to 4 years consistently. It is my only consistent job. I do this job weekly, Wednesdays at 4 p.m. to the point that like in my calendar, it's just the only staple in my week. I have been working Albertsons 3 to 4 years. I got to find my actual contract, but I have been working with this team for 3 to 4 years, doing their weekly deals, doing shop online or in store at Albertsons and say, blah, blah, blah. Buy 2, get 1 free of Purdue chicken, blah, 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 Pepsi for $2.99, every week, to the point that I'm an expert at this job. They have me booked for an hour. I finish the job in 10 to 15 minutes, max. The other time, if I'm on longer, it's because I'm talking to the producer and my sound engineer. Because at this point, they're like we're co-workers, we're friends. Actually, the engineer, Bob, was on the second episode of the podcast. So I do this weekly. I do this, everyone knows Olivia at 4 p.m. is recording Albertsons. So my mom was like, why don't you talk to your agents? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, I can't be a SAG member. I'd have to literally turn down. I'd have to stop working with Albertsons. After 3 to 4 years, I'd have to literally say, hey, I can't work with you guys anymore. The reason I didn't become SAG originally was because I had Kohl's non-union work, it was the same thing. My agents were like, there's no way you could like totally turn off Kohl's, you know, like this is paying you a good amount of money, even though it's non-union. This is your bread and butter. This is your consistent income, because SAG jobs come every blue moon, but Kohl's was forever. Albertsons was forever, right? So I recorded Albertsons on Wednesday of last week, and then they even asked me to do another job on Thursday, the day after. I said, cool. So we did. We recorded, and I said to the engineer, you know, I said to Bob, like, okay, you know, I'll see you guys next week. Like, we'll talk next week. All good things. Like, all right, guys, business as usual. Like, all right, thanks. You know, 10, 15 minutes later, thanks for, you know, the record. Talk to you guys next week. All right, bye, Olivia, blah, blah, blah. We even talked about mushrooms on the job. I get an email on Friday. I'm going to paraphrase it so I'm not like sharing everyone's business, but it said, my agent said, I have some bad news. And it said, after, you know, all these years of working together, this campaign is coming to a close. We're trying to get it back, but, you know, please let Olivia know that it has nothing to do with her. The client absolutely loves her. We will suggest her for all these other jobs, you know, if we see some other things. But please know this has nothing to do with Olivia. This weekly campaign is just no longer going forward. What? Huh? This was last Wednesday. This was 6 days ago. I mean, Friday. This was Friday. This was 4 to 5 days ago. 4 days ago. It's Tuesday. This was Friday. I went, okay. At this point, after losing Kohl's last year, I'm kind of like not numb to losing work or work moving away. And, you know, I'm more just like something bigger is going to happen. If the Kohl's account didn't stop and the producers were pivoting to a different voice or a different vibe, which, mind you, very boring, Kohl's, very boring. No shade. But if I still had Kohl's, I wouldn't be able to get Macy's because they're a competitor, clothing store, stuff like that. Macy's pays me. I did one job for Macy's. They are paying me more than what I would make for Kohl's in like 6 months. You know what I mean? So everything works out. Door closes, another door opens. So when I saw that I didn't get when Albertsons is no longer going forward, I was just like, that's strange. Okay. Weird. I get in the car with my mom because she's like, let's go visit your aunt who lives like an hour outside the city. We're in the car. We're talking about other things. And then I mentioned to her the email that I got. And I was like, crazy thing that I just received. I read her the email. She then says, well, Olivia, I guess you got your answer. And I went, what are you talking about? Like, answer for what? She was like, I guess this means you're going to be SAG. I said, bro, when I tell you I forgot that I literally said the only reason that I couldn't become SAG was because of Albertsons and that there was no way I could stop working for Albertsons. I have to get a tissue. I'm using the inside of a sock because I don't see or anything. The way I forgot that a week or 2 weeks prior, I was telling my mom that I wanted to join SAG, but the only reason I couldn't join SAG is because of Albertsons. And the reason I wanted to join SAG was to become an Actors Equity member. I forgot. My mother, if I did not share that with my mom, I would not realize how incredible God is, how fast he works. She literally was like, God is moving quickly in your life, girl. Like, to say you want something 2 weeks prior to the date of Friday, 2 weeks prior, a week prior, but to say the only thing that was stopping you from getting it was a job that you've been working for 3 to 4 years, and out of thin air, out of nowhere, this campaign stops. You could, for that, my mom was like, God literally said, you don't even have to think about it, girl. It's gone. I'm showing you exactly what you need to be doing. You don't even need to question it. You don't need to even have a she was like, I was telling you, you need to have a conversation with your agent. She said, God said, you don't got to talk to nobody. She said, you don't have to talk to nobody. It's gone. Here, the road is clear. I'm telling you what to do. Bro, the way I was weeping, because for me, I'm like, how awesome. If you're not watching, I'm dabbing my tears with a sock. How awesome it is to get your prayers answered and be pointed in a direction so quickly, so expeditiously, so clear, like the clarity that I pray for every night. My prayer is this every night. I say other things, but I say, after I talk about my day and thank God for the things that I'm doing in my day, I say, that which I seek is seeking me. I let go of how it will come and I focus on my heart's desires. God knows how to make it happen, so I just relax and let go. Everything that's necessary for the fulfillment of my desire is lovingly and harmoniously drawn to me now. I accept this or something better. Thank you for me, my friends, and my family's mental clarity, health, healing, discernment, spiritual connection, relationship, discernment, favor, mercy, grace, clarity and communication, physical health, healing, vitality, energy, abundance of money, resources, laughter, joy, play. In Jesus' name, amen. That's my prayer. Things are getting interchanged sometimes, but that is my prayer. For my prayer to be answered so quickly, the clarity, the showing exactly what I need, the allowing God to do what God needs to do, and for me to just relax and let go. I wasn't even thinking about SAG anymore. I wasn't even thinking about Actors Equity. So when I got that email and shared it with my mom, and for her to remind me that I was saying that I wanted to join Actors Equity, and the only way I could join Actors Equity is if I was fully SAG and just opted into the sister membership. But the reason that I wasn't fully SAG was because of Albertsons, and Albertsons was a job that's going to stay for 3-4 more years, because this is something that we work so well together. I do the job quicker than anyone could ever do the job. Like, I'm so good at this job. And for that to be taken out of the way suddenly, it's like the way God is working, dog. Like, that's what made me cry, because I was like, oh my gosh, in such a tangible way, I am being shown exactly what I need. And what's beautiful about this testimony is that if God is moving things like this, that means I'm ready. For Albertsons to be taken away and for me to be ready to be like, because then I start thinking, well, what about Hershey's? What if Hershey's comes back and wants to use me again? That's a hefty amount of money. That's a non-union job. But what about if Albertsons does come back and it's a little higher pay, but it's still not union? What if Albertsons comes back and it's union? You know what I mean? What if Hershey's decides to switch to a union position and I'm getting paid way more? And I have American Airlines, which is union, so I can keep that job. But, the fear comes in where it's like, okay, if I tell my agents that, and mind you, I haven't even talked to my agents at this point. Maybe by tomorrow I'll email them. But when I tell my agents, and I'm like, once I tell my agents, they're not going to send me non-union work anymore. Once I reach out to the union and I decide to be fully SAG, that closes the door. Because here's also the tea. Once you join FICORE, sometimes it's hard to get into the union. The good thing about me is I was never fully union, because they see it as like, if you were union and you switch to FICORE, they're kind of like, stay there, girl. But I was never union. I just started as FICORE. So I think it will be easier for me to join the union now, to be like, I wanted to be FICORE at the beginning because blah, blah, blah. Now I'm a more seasoned actor. I believe that I should be fully SAG, fully part of the union. I believe it'll be easy for me to join. But once I join, if I decide to go back to FICORE, they do not allow like back, forth. So when I decide right now that I'm about to be fully union, this is forever. For lifers, this is forever. This is like, I am now in the union with Michael B. Jordan, with Maya Rudolph, with Amy Poehler, with Tina Fey, with Steve Carell. I am now in that. I am part of that union. So, like, there's no going back, essentially. There's no going back. But you see, I'm saying it like with a smile, because I'm like, if God is positioning me, if the divine forces and my angels and my ancestors are positioning me right now to be fully union, that means that there is a path and a paved way and favor and miracles along it. They're just saying, make the step. We're showing you what to do. We're showing you that this is what we want you to do. Now do it. We're showing you that this is the path that you need to be on, and that after these 6 years of you being FICORE, we're showing you, or 7 years of working non-union work, and, well, then later on union work, we are showing you it is time. You are ready. That's the messaging. You are ready to step into this next level. You are ready to not take pennies anymore for work that you're doing excellent work for unexcellent pay at times. Has it blessed me? Yes. Has it, supported my family? Absolutely. Has it made sure that I can pay my rent and my bills? Absolutely. But what's so beautiful is that I know that as soon as I join SAG, it's going to be even greater. If God is showing me that, Albertson's gone. Surprise! Albertson's gone. The path is clear for you to join the union. Do it now. If God is showing me that, 222 on the clock, if God is showing me that lets me know that it's prepared for me. That lets me know that there's jobs waiting for me. That lets me know that it is time for me to step into that light. That it is time for me to step into that next level. So that's what's so exciting. And that's what has me like jazzed. Because while I could go into the fear of like, but I have these I'd be booking non-union. And sometimes non-union is $10,000. And I just did a non-union audition that was like $50,000 payout, or $25,000. There are some hefty non-union jobs. For me to not go into that place, I have to believe that if this is what God is showing me so clear, my prayers are being answered. It's so clear. It's so clear that I'm like, this is the correct path. This is the choice. This is the excitement. This is that energy as a generator that I feel. Look up your human design. But as a generator, we feel like, or that God has shown me. It is done. It is done. It is there for me. You are ready. You are ready, my child. Step into it. You are ready, my child. Step into it. And there's other really cool opportunities that have been opening up too. It has nothing to do with union really, but like my network and net worth are about to be off the charts. My community that is opening up of working actors and people in the industry, producers, directors, is really opening up. And it's always in ways that I'm not really expecting, but it's always right on time, and it's always divinely orchestrated. And I want to let you know those things that you're like, well, that's not my dream job. That's not exactly what I wanted to do. Sometimes to get to exactly what you want, God just needs to see that you are working. Sometimes to get that big break, you need to just be using your vessel actively to show that you are a light worker in all spaces. Whether that means you're driving Uber and spreading light to the people that are in the back seat, or you're on Broadway, or you're on TV, or you're on, or you're doing a podcast for free. But you're not on TV, network TV, getting thousands and thousands and thousands, $100,000 per episode. But I am showing God, I am showing Source, I am showing the love and light workers of the world that I'm using my vessel. I'm trying to use my vessel. My work is to use my vessel no matter what facet, whether that's on national television or whether it's on my Mac computer screen in my apartment, in my booth. I know you took something from this. I'm not even going to say I hope you did. I know you took something from this. That is my testimony. The last thing I'll leave you with, mind you, I'm like, this is a short one, 52 minutes later. The last thing I'll leave with this, I saw this video on YouTube, which I will try to remember to link. But if I don't remember, let me tell you what it is called so you can YouTube it yourselves. Heaven is in your nervous system. Heaven, it's a live video by Inner Mileage. It's my first video I've ever seen from him. And the title is Heaven is in your nervous system and so is hell. It's alive. It really spoke to me. Essentially what he was saying, which was so beautiful, is that the state of your inner being, your nervous system, creates life to either be heaven or hell. Heaven and hell are not physical places. Heaven, as if you are Christian, Jesus even says, heaven is inside of you. If you're not Christian, you know that your inner world, whether you just believe in science or whatever, it all says the same thing. Every religion says the same thing when it comes to heaven and hell. As within, so without, or, as above, so below. It's all the bliss that you experience in life is a direct reflection of your inner world. Your nervous system either allows you to live a light, heavenly life, or it could literally be hellish. He does such a better job of breaking it down. So I'm more than happy to just tag to put the link of his video below, because it's a 30-minute watch. It's so worth it.
Put it down. Pick up the hydrant.
Sorry, there's commercial. I wanted to get into the. So watch it. It's 31 minutes, 13 seconds, which I love that number, 31:13. I love that. The numerology in that, but watch it. It's not worth me trying to paraphrase, but I do want to know that when you are in that vibe and things are working and feeling good, that's heaven. Heaven is now. You don't die to experience heaven. You don't have to die to experience oneness with the divine. You don't have to die to experience euphoria here, So I'm becoming part of the union. Watch out, Michael B. Jordan. I'm coming for ya. Anyway, y'all, here's my outro. Follow the Pink Pod Podcast on Instagram. It's Pink Pod Podcast. Follow me, Olivia Sarafina. I'm your host, Olivia Sarafina. Da-da-da. Now SAG member. And stay light, stay loved. I don't really know what else to say to end this. I feel like the podcast was all that needed to be said, the meat and potatoes. I will tag this video, Heaven is in Your Nervous System, down below. If you have any other questions about SAG, go to their website. They can answer all those things. I hope I did a fair breakdown of what SAG is versus FICORE, and why it might be beneficial to be FICORE, which it very much so was for me for 6 years. And So beautiful out. And like I said, this will now be every other week. Every other Thursday, you will get the Pink Pod podcast. Thanks for tuning in. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, but this is best enjoyed visually. So YouTube and Spotify. Love ya. Bye.